Hello everyone, this is Stephen Balch, your instructor for Introduction to Microeconomics at Ozarka College. Today what I'm going to do is give you a little bit of feedback on the chapters 11 and 12 activities that I finished grading this morning. And then I'm going to tell you what we've got coming up due for our next set of chapter activities. Alright, so like I said, I did finish grading the chapters 11 and 12 activities this morning. Go ahead and look at your grades for those activities and read the corresponding grading comments. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll be glad to answer any questions that you have about those comments. Overall, most of you did well on the assignment and the discussion. And like I always tell you, I really appreciate those of you that are putting the time and effort into the class. So keep up the good work on that. Now, I did notice a few of you did not answer the questions, some of the questions thoroughly and completely. Make sure that you're carefully reading each question and that you're reading and watching the related textbook sections and videos and thoroughly answering each part of each question. It looks like some of you waited too late to get started on the assignment, and you, instead of going through the provided resources, reading the textbook chapters and watching the assigned videos, looks like some of you just did Google searches for the terms that were covered on the questions, and just to kind of as a shortcut, but that is not going to work in a lot of cases when you're looking at economic terms, because as some of you found out, terms like the income effect and the substitution effect have different meanings depending on what context we're looking at those terms in economics. For example, the income effect and substitution effect, when we're looking at the product market and demand in the product market, is different, completely different than what we were looking at in chapters 11 and 12, which was the income effect and substitution effect of a wage increase in the supply of labor. Okay, so it's not good enough to just do a Google search online and give the answer that's whatever comes up on your Google search, because there are a lot of terms in economics that have different meanings depending on what context we're looking at those terms in. And in these chapters 11 and 12, obviously, we were looking at resources and labor, and specifically on that question that I'm pertaining to here, relating to, it was labor supply that we were looking at. And so obviously you would want to answer those questions, those terms, define those terms in the context of the resources that I had assigned to that question, which dealt with labor supply, not demand for goods. Okay? So always make sure that you're carefully reading the question and each part of each question on the assignment, and that you're actually reading through the resources that I provided, watching the related videos, and that will give you the context with which you need to answer those questions on the assignment. Okay? So just make sure you're doing that for future assignments. All right? And that brings us to what we've got coming up due for our next set of activities. So if we go to the activities page in my Ozarka, right now we're on week 10 of the semester. We just had our chapters 11 and 12 activities due last night. And our next set of activities for chapters 13 and 14 are due Thursday, November 2nd, which is Thursday of next week. All right? So we've got, for chapters 13 and 14, you've got the assignment, test, and discussion, again, all due by Thursday, November 2nd. Chapter 13, by the way, covers capital, interest, and corporate finance. And Chapter 14 covers transaction cost and asymmetric information. All right. Again, as you're answering the assignment questions for chapters 13 and 14, make sure that you give yourself plenty of time to look through the learning resources, use those learning resources that I provided, and make sure that you're answering the questions, the exact questions in the context in which they are asked, and in which they are presented in the learning resources provided. Okay? And that's really all I have for you for today. Just again, make sure that you're using those learning resources. Let me know if you have questions as you're working on the chapters 13 and 14 activities. And other than that, I don't have anything else for you. So enjoy the rest of your week and your weekend. And I will probably talk to you again sometime late next week after I've graded the next set of activities. All right? Thank you.